Hey guys, depending on where you live, you might have spent quite some time in confinement already. This unusual situation is keeping us from doing everything that we like to do, that we're used to do, and we're likely to spend even more time alone. And so, the quality of our thoughts is going to be decisive in how we deal with this situation. I mean, what are you experiencing at the moment? Are you bored? Do you want to go out? Are you frustrated? Are you scared? Are you in disbelief? So it begs the question, why? Why the discomfort? Where does it come from? The way we look at something, the way we perceive it as being good or bad, is subjective. It depends only upon the frame through which we look at our situation. And that frame is going to be based upon our beliefs, the internalized and unquestioned ideas that we hold to be true and that we've developed over time. But here's the thing. The behaviors that we're going to adopt through that frame is only going to reinforce the way we look at things. But some of the beliefs that underpin our perception are irrational. And today, I want to talk about 3 of those, as outlined by the late Albert Ellis. I'm going to be talking about their emotional implications and their behavioral responses. The first irrational belief that's going to be the most relevant to the current situation is going to be, I must get what I want when I want it. Maybe because as we were being brought up, our parents probably spoiled us a little along the way. Maybe they took responsibility for us whenever a situation arose. And in turn, we're going to start believing that life must be easy, that we shouldn't experience any kind of discomfort, and that we can rely on something external to sort things out. In turn, that belief makes us prone to irritation. We become less tolerant to frustration. We indulge a little more in self-pity, so we start to blame. We become anxious because we don't know what to do. One way to cope with that is to engage in gratifying behaviors, in procrastination, in doing things that basically are just going to make us feel good again. The second belief that we hold on to is, I must do well and win others' approval, or else I'm no good. This can arise in situations where, as we were being brought up, we were praised for our academic results, but our parents didn't necessarily show us any open affection otherwise. In turn, our self-worth becomes dependent upon external achievements. Do you feel like you need to get somewhere, that you need to get into a certain position or a certain rank to feel okay? That obligation is going to become your judge. And so the resulting lack of self-worth can lead to anxiety or workaholism. On the other end of the spectrum, see that little ball of stress that you experience when someone asks something of you? Well, that's basically unworthiness in disguise too. Think about it. The one thing you can control at any given moment is doing what you can to the best of your ability. This belief can also drive our people-pleasing traits, because as we're concerned with the other's appreciation, their validation, we're going to become deceitful in adopting a facade that is going to match the other's expectations. Now this brings us to the last belief that I want to mention, which is, others must treat me fairly and in the way I want them to treat me. And if they don't, they deserve to be punished. Now, that belief is what's going to get us in trouble with others. Look at it this way. As we assume that we can tell right from wrong, or what's fair from what's not, we're going to have a self-serving bias in thinking that we're always right. And whenever we're going to interact with someone whose behaviors are not going to be aligned with what we want, what we expect, we're going to experience anger, impatience, resentment. And do you know what kind of behaviors we adopt then? Well, exactly the ones that we're trying to condemn. We become aggressive, we become intolerant. By now, I hope you understand that some of our emotions can result from the friction between our frame, our perception, that includes the limiting beliefs and the irrational beliefs that we have, and our reality. And that threatens our emotional stability, our well-being, the way we are going to behave with others that can prove to be detrimental. So why don't you take a minute during the day to start to observe your thoughts and try to figure out the ones that are provoking an inner discomfort. As you become a little more self-aware and that you become able to voice what is bothering you, then you can use a very practical and simple tool to review the assumptions that you're making, which is called the Socratic questioning. And it goes like this. Is there any evidence for or against my thought? Am I basing my thought on facts or on feelings? Am I making assumptions? What would somebody else think about my situation? Am I exaggerating the truth? Moving past our limiting beliefs can be grueling because they're based on some ideas that we don't question anymore, on behaviors and emotions that we got used to experiencing, and they've become the new normal. However, in updating our perception, in updating the frame of reference through which we experience things, we can learn to mitigate our negativity and focus instead on our potential.